Anat Shenker Osorio.
So I hold the dubious distinction of being a repeater. I was here last year and it was terrifying. So I'm your token misogynist. Not misogynist, masochist. And I'm a rule follower, so I'm going to talk about innovation, which is the theme, but I'm a rule breaker, so I'm going to talk about the incoherence of innovation. When you look at how innovation is used in our language, it's to talk about machines, right? Apps, tech. And that's actually quite fitting because at this point, we've subverted everything that's natural and necessary to this mechanistic view of the world. When you look at how we talk about basic human needs, food, shelter, water, the stuff that human beings need to keep alive, or education, an example I'm going to unpack a little more, we're fully in this mechanistic place. We used to have a metaphor for education. The young folks will think I'm crazy. That was a garden, right? So we would nurture the intellect. We would cultivate an interest. The entailments of this metaphor, what it implies, is that children are organic matter, and they're all different, and there's some known things they need, in the analogy, soil, water, sunlight, but there's this magical alchemy that happens below the soil that the educators are responsible for. We've moved from this garden metaphor to the language of the factory, right? So we have inputs, and we have outputs, and we ratchet up expectations, and the kid is a product of a good school. The entailments of that metaphor are that children are like widgets. They're all uniform, and why would the widgets need art? And the teachers are factory workers, and they do a thing to the kids, and it's all the same, and then they're on a conveyor belt, and they move to the next one after they've been tested, and a stamp is put on their ass, and none are left behind. This mechanistic language is so widespread that we have now monetized children. Right? We invest in the future and we invest in our kids and they're too small to fail. And we can kid ourselves all we want, but the prevailing understanding of the investment frame is financial return. That is how it is used in language. And so we are saying the reason to do a thing, the reason it's right is because it's lucrative. We have fallen so far into this paradigm of reifying the economy that we've said that the basis upon which we decide something is right or wrong is whether or not it grows or shrinks GDP. We have wandered so far from the actual reasons that we exist as humans and believe as progressives that we're the adults in the Charlie Brown cartoon. The fuck are we even saying? Because I know that when I look in my sweet, sweet baby's eyes, this is Diego and Shy. I'm getting cheap points by showing pictures of my kids. I definitely think, man, I just love that sweet ROI, cha-ching! Because that is how parents feel about our children, right? That's what we feel when we have children and think about children. We think, wow, that is some money. Because children are not just giant money suckers. And in fact, even within this monetary frame, if you want to hang out there, you don't believe me? The investment language is bullshit. We are talking about minuscule sums for these social issues that do not constitute the foundation from which to expect returns. What we are talking about in adding to, or more appropriately, not having taken away from food stamps is not an investment, it's a fucking ketchup packet. And it is insulting to the people who desperately need this food to call it an investment. We have wandered so far into this innovative paradigm of loving the economy best that we are in Plato's cave and we think we are looking outside and we are looking at shadows on the fucking wall. And we don't need to talk this way. I'm going to give you one example because my clock is ticking. Look at the place in this slide where the opposition is going away from us and where the persuadables are getting on board, where they love our message. This is a project that many smart people worked on. Do you know what's being said in that moment? I'll tell you. It's this. America is a nation of values founded on an idea that all men and women are created equal. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people have rights, no matter what they look like or where they come from. The idea that the reason we do things is because it's more or less lucrative, that that's the basis of judgment in our society, is not even particularly innovative. We don't need to be saying that. We need to be saying, hey, I believe that all children have rights, do you? That's the conversation we want to be having, and that's the conversation that our opposition is thrilled we keep letting them avoid. Thank you.